You know, I really want to meet you, to consult with you for my next career change.
Oh. Okay, why don't I play you and you play the other person? That's what I wanted to do. I played you. So
Okay.
you're going to be the person that you don't like.
Okay.
So what is the topic then? Pretend I asked you a question and now respond as you hear from your people you were just telling me.
So you don't like me, or I'm the one that answer with yes but?
Yeah, you're going to approach me with yes but.
Okay, so I had something that I'm organizing a finance connection event and I need help from a professor.
Okay, and somebody, that's you, right?
And I'm the
okay.
professor.
And what's the response to that?
The response is a long email said that I really like what you're doing. It's really important for the school.
But, it's very often true, there's a but in there. Really, yeah.
It's exactly the topic that I'm interested in.
Okay, so how about this? So I'm going to be you now. Thank you very much for your email. I am happy to know about your the constraints. In fact, and you can actually respond to a particular constraint. And here is my situation. Okay, that's a really good line. And here is my situation. Okay, so you catch the ball that they throw you. Oh, thank you for your email. I'm happy to know that you're not in a position to do anything now. And here is my situation. I really need this to be delivered by a certain time. Is there any way that you can help me figure out who can do it if you can't? You see how they're going to throw me a yes but ball, but before I throw it back, I'm going to convert it into a yes and ball. And what I'm going to do, you bring up something very interesting. What I'm going to do, I have a choice to make, and I'm going to write down the choice that you have. This is the choice, and it's a choice of my focus. Okay? It's where am I going to focus? Am I going to focus on judging them and wishing that they change? Okay? Or am I going to focus on what it is that I really want? You see the difference here? And at every moment, we have a choice on how we shift where we're focused. I often call this expectations, what I think expectations. And let me give you an example, then we'll come back to that if you'd like. And here I call this my desire. So there was a long time ago before I was a consultant and we had been working long hours. Anybody a consultant here? Well, we had gotten take-in pizza many, many days in a row, and I really wanted Chinese food. But it was the days before they had a delivery service. So I wanted, okay, Chinese food. So I call up the local Chinese restaurant and I say, hello. It's 9 o'clock at night, and I say, do you have some food left over? Yes, we do. I said, I would really like to purchase that food. Great. Here is my situation. I'm not in a position to come and pick it up. To which they said, what do you think? We don't deliver. Okay? Now, if I am focused on this expectation side, what's my response going to be?
Fine, goodbye.
Fine, goodbye. Oh, I knew you didn't deliver. Sorry for bothering you. Right? I'm going to end up with not Chinese food that night and another pizza. Okay? If I just change where my focus is, so I'm not going to dwell on expectations or what has been true in the past, or what everybody else thinks is true, but instead I'm going to focus on what I really, really want, what's my automatic, unconscious, unthinking response going to be?
Do you have any ideas how you can get it to me?
Yeah, okay. That might be me wanting to change them a little bit in there. If you're working with somebody who is my friend, that would work. Okay? But I don't know this guy too much, so I call it maybe a higher intervention. In fact, what I'm actually advocating up here is we're thinking too much in our responses. Our desires are attractive all by themselves. We weaken an apology with an excuse. We weaken an idea with a rationale, very many, like an invitation with a rationale. We weaken an invitation. Please come to the meeting because it'll be good for you. Okay? Will you come to the meeting? Would probably get you that person coming and that person wanting to come. Do you see the difference? So one of the things that came to my mind, and there's a lot of different behavioral words you can use, but I said, oh, I know you normally don't deliver, and I'm wondering if you will tonight. They delivered. And they started a delivery service 2 weeks later. Okay? So, and then, I'm sure, they might have been starting it already. But here's the difference. Do you see how that changed what I was ready to receive? I didn't communicate the words. I know you normally don't flip. They already knew that, right? But what I communicate, what is it that I really communicated in that response? Yeah, I communicated that I was ready to catch, okay? I was ready to catch this ball. If they decide to give it to me, great. If they decide not to, you know, upgrading on an airplane, I asked, oh, can I be moved up to the front? And they said, well, how far up would you like me to move you, you know? Right? So it's kind of, I want to be ready to receive exactly what I want, and I even want you maybe to give me even more than I could imagine without your help. Okay? And that's kind of the interactions that we're talking about, but it's all predicated on where my focus is. Am I focused on my wants, or am I focused on my biases or my desires? Okay? Do you see the difference? And it doesn't really matter the words. One time I introduced a friend of mine who was here at doing a lecture with me, and he was really one of my really great friends, and he came to do a technical part of the seminar I was giving. And no kidding, it was right before lunch. And I said, and here is my really good friend, and I am, he's going to come and talk about, And I looked at him afterwards, and I asked the class, I said, I can't believe I lost every word, you know? And I asked the class, I said, what do you think my opinion is of this person? What do you think they said? They said I probably respected him more than anybody else they had at the course. Because it wasn't about my words, and it wasn't about the mistakes I was making in my introduction or what I forgot. My whole body communicates what my attitude is toward that other person. And that's really what I want to share with you, okay? And I want that to be shared all the time. Now, when we say yes, but, we're sharing this kind of attitude, okay? When we do yes, but, we're on this side. If I'm yes, butted, okay, I'm going to really perceive that other person isn't ready to play catch with me. They're just playing throw at me instead of catch with me, okay? But here, with the yes and, they're saying, they're really saying, I want to play catch with you. They're really saying, I'm ready to catch what I want. Okay? In other words that you could say too is, yes, but is I'm ready to catch exactly what I expected. Right? There was a colleague of mine in Europe, and he expected not to be paid until he showed up. So he was starting a new assignment in Europe, and he said, I don't want to get paid until September, because I don't want to show up until September. Okay? And the president said, oh, we're happy to pay you in May. No, I don't want to, because he had this assumption he had to show up. So he arrives in September to find all of his colleagues having been paid since May and not having been there during the summer. And his wife never lets him forget this. Okay? So what's happening is we have rigid expectations of what we expect, and if I'm not a good catcher, I'm only ready to catch what I know already. So imagine that in a conversation. If I wasn't ready to learn from you, I would make you tell me stuff I already knew.